and welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny and today I'm here doing a speed build. I was originally going to do this on camera, but it turns out I have like 1.5 hours of just flat video, about 2 hours maybe. I cut out a lot of it for just stuff that I was testing and didn't work out. But today I am building the town hall, finally, for Silkenshore. So I started this build and I was looking through the internet. I was looking for town hall inspiration and I found these blueprints for a town hall in East Oregon, I think, in a town called Hermiston. And this ends up looking totally different. But I was originally inspired by the blueprints of Hermiston Town Hall that were featured in the East Oregonian newspaper that is actually not available to me in EU because reasons, I don't know. I couldn't read it online properly, so I had to kind of like fiddle my way around. But anyway, I got these really cool blueprints and I kind of started the vibe with those because I needed to know roughly what kind of rooms I needed to put in, that kind of stuff. And it's not it's not even close to a one-on-one replica, but I think it's kind of fun to look through these kinds of things and see what you need, because I would have never guessed to put in all of the rooms that I put in here, and I still am missing so many of the rooms that I probably should have. But here you can kind of see that I am going for with parking on the right, and then on the left is gonna be one big room. That's gonna be like their like the big town hall, you know. And on the right, on the left-hand side is gonna be a bit of like it's gonna be the foyer and offices and stuff. And I looked at all of these windows that I downloaded, and I found all of these cool like slanted windows that are imported from The Sims 4, and I really wanted to use those, so I'm already starting to like go way overboard at this one. But yeah, it is a beautiful, I think it ends up quite nice, and I was trying to keep this one looking kind of traditional as well, much like the other buildings in this town, because this is a new build. This is not a historical build that has been here forever. This is a new town built from scratch, so while there might be historical inspirations, we won't have those historical vibes all of the way. I did want to have all kinds of stuff in here though. So here you can already kind of see me starting to lay out the rooms and stuff. For the upstairs, I don't do anything specific. I think mostly the upstairs is going to be hallways, and then there's going to be a couple of empty places for us to like fill out later in case we figure out what we need to have here. So I left a lot of it blank upstairs, kind of like I did with the school, because I don't want the Sims that visit here to be too spread out. I would prefer them to remain in the bottom floor, so I most of the stuff there. There I really like the small windows that I had the first time, but they had a bit of flickering in that swatch that I'd chosen, so I chose to swap those out. And that tricks me every time. Yeah, I also try to use these big windows because I know that I quite like the look of them, and I don't get to use them as often as I would like. I tend to default to more cozy options, and in this Let's Play specifically, I've been trying to have a bit more of a modern vibe for these buildings, just to kind of stretch my own thoughts and how I can figure this out. Here I'm laying out the ceiling, and the ceiling is gonna be such a problem for me. I don't know how to like handle that, but it's gonna turn out fine. It's gonna turn out fine. We're gonna figure it out, you know? You and me. So for modern stuff, I tend to default to like a flat ceiling, but here I also wanted the hall to have this light feature, just because the windows, there won't be any windows on the bottom floor of this atrium. So this hall, whatever, this big tall bit. So I wanted to figure that out, and for these, I originally was going for pitched roofs, but the roof is so big that I figured it would end up looking kind of odd. So I needed them to be relatively flat, relatively short roofs for it to look good. So I ended up going for similar stuff that I went with the Marine Research Institute as well, or Marine Research Place as well, which is just flat roofs, quite simple. And it turned out alright in the end. I think there's definitely room for improvement here. So if you have any ideas or suggestions for this place or the Marine Research Institute, let me know in the comments, because we are going to be updating and renovating these places down the line in the Let's Play. Especially I think the Marine Research Institute is already due a couple of changes, and I'm keeping tabs of them. And when I have a good handful, I'll go ahead and put that into a video as well. But here on the side, I didn't really know what to do. I didn't want to add more building. I also didn't want to add a lot more stuff for the Sims to kind of spread out to. So I just put in a little bit of a garden, and I think it turns out quite well. I struggled with these wall panelings for the longest time, because at this point I had no idea what I was going to do. No inspiration whatsoever. So I tend to default to some kind of brick, and then color detailing, just so that it's not as flat. But in The Sims 2 I quite like it when walls are flat as well. For some reason it's something that I really don't like in The Sims 4 or other Sims games, but in The Sims 2 it feels like it fits better. And here I go for this bluish like tone wall, and then some paneling in wood, just to get a bit of differentiation in here. And I struggled with the platforms a little bit, and I keep trying to add more detail in there, but it's sadly not everything is meant to be, and it is what it is. And here I'm kind of like putting faux air conditioning units on the roof, just for a bit of detail. It'll look alright from the lot view or town view if we look at it from here. Realistically speaking, we're not going to be here for that often, but it's gonna be fun to see those touches whenever we do enter here. And just putting in some lighting. I don't think I actually changed a lot of these lights in the end. Probably should have, but especially for YouTube, I like the lights being small so that they're not in the way, and not so extreme. And for the floor, I went for something a bit fun here. Again, I kind of weirdly like to have places look bleak and crusty in a weird way, and I don't think this is quite how that would be if I went for that, but I'm trying to get inspiration from the town halls that I've been to in my area as well, and sometimes they have some pretty funky floor tiles. I don't know if you've noticed. I highly recommend it. They are generally open for the public if you just like want to go look around. Obviously you can't go into any of the offices or anything, but there's usually like a sitting area where you can like publicly go and like vibe. You probably shouldn't, to be honest. It's not like a library, but there is like this waiting section every time. I'm gonna put one here too. So here though, I am adding in some office space. And this area is actually going to be what is just the customer service desk. And there's kinds of like court clerk stuff in here. So I guess this is also doubling as the legal institution when it comes to like sentencing and such in this town. I don't know, but they're the court works there, and then there's a couple of offices that I put in that are going to be housing various court positions that I have not like specifically decided which is which, but it just feels like it's the kind of thing that should be here, you know. Here again, I like a flat wall in The Sims 2, but I also like to have a bit of detail with the paneling and such, so that's what I went for there. I want The Sims to gather here and listen to someone speak, so I put in a mic so that they can, in fact, have their comedy situation here. It's a bit odd, but, you know, it's the best equivalent, I'd say, that we have in The Sims 2 in vanilla. I suppose I could download something, but I think it's kind of fun. We can use our imaginations too here. And here's like a seating waiting area that I'm kind of like blocking in with these sofas. Now these sofas actually end up staying. I like these a lot, and I think I used them. I used these a lot actually. So a shout out to the actual game for having good items that I want to use over stuff that I download. And here, this is a part of where there's those angled windows, and I put in some plants in here, and I think it turns out being quite nice. Just bringing a bit of that like greenery and fresh air into this big and kind of scary looking building, because it is quite like somber. I don't know how to say it, and but yes, it does turn out quite nice in my opinion. Here I decided to put those paintings back. Oh no! And every floor is the incorrect way around, because you can change the orientation of the floors, but I just put it in incorrectly. Here I am allowing myself a little bit of joy, and I really want to use that carpet somewhere. I've been wanting to use it for the longest time. It was my favorite when I was a kid playing this game. So of course I had to include it in my courthouse build. Oh god, it's such a weird time. I don't think I remembered it looking like that, because I was playing, of course, in lower resolution. I remember it being like much smaller print and very much cuter. But oh well. And I also put in a cigarette machine so that you can buy cigarettes in here. It's not super realistic, but I feel like it's gonna just add Sims doing stuff in here and things. Then we have what is in the blueprints. There would be like a court records room or a vault, roughly in that area. Also a server room. They're roughly in that area. So again, I can use those cabinets to just block it out, and we can use our imagination to figure out what's in here. And then I'm gonna add in all the curtains. I think it's so cute, and I switch these around, and it's gonna be cute, and it's gonna be fun and funky and fresh. Yes. This is a part that's not realistic at all, which is having the carpet in here. But I think that for Let's Plays and looking at things and having a video, it helps when you break down the floor a little bit, especially if the floor is so repetitively patterned. It helps if you have something in there, so I just put those in. Not everything has to be realistic. It's nice to have those realistic touches, but I'm also not like beholden to them or married to them if they don't happen to serve my purpose. And these are actually the only real reason I wanted the courthouse. So we are going to be removing the job boards from the Marine Research Institute, and we are going to be using them here instead from now on. Unless we get an actual like place for them later. This is probably their final resting place. What a way to put it, huh? And then we have a conference room, or again, there's like an executive room here, or a break room, or a conference room, roughly in the spot in the blueprints. So I just put one table rather than having like 3 separate rooms. Because again, this is the Sims, we can scale it down a little bit. We don't need all that space for what is realistically going to be a never ever used room. It's going to be quite blatant. For the bathrooms, I just go for the same for all of them. Again, new build. They don't need to be very complicated. Just adding a little bit of stalls and baths and stuff like that. I mostly keep these undetailed because I'm not planning on taking any pictures of Sims in the bathroom. Any screenshots or like zooming into them that much, so I want to save up on the item space and the load for this lot, because this is very large. There's a lot of items on this lot. It took so long to build, and now it's getting like zoomed into this tiny ass video that's gonna look so weird on my channel because everything else is like 2+ hours, right? But you know, sometimes it is what it is. Sometimes you get 2.5 hours of video, sometimes you get less, you know? So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And here I'm just plucking out those extra offices because we don't want Sims going into them, we don't want Sims using them, we don't want that extra clutter when we don't need it. So that's mostly it, I think. There's just gonna be a few more things, a few more details I'm gonna put in on the inside, and then we're going to move outside of the place very soon. Here, again, here I'm just trying to figure out what to put where and get the excuses to put things into places. Here's the outside. It's gonna be pretty simple. I put in some orange trees, no particular reason. I just feel like they're a good size. They're not too big, they're not too small. Also, if we happen to use them, it's like a nice bonus. On the other hand, I'm just gonna put in some trees and some bushes and stuff. I don't really want Sims getting there. I don't really want Sims using it, but they can if they want to. Then putting in a bit of dirt under the foundations, some more bushes, and we're about done. I'll show you what it looks like in the game. And here we are in the game. This is now, I'm calling this done. At least the first pass. You know me, I like to do like a first pass, and then when I get to know the place, if I see what needs to be changed, what needs to be fixed, I get back to it. So this is how it looks like. I quite like it. I wish the lighting was better. The back is not as good, but let's be honest. Real buildings, which ones of them look great from the back? Honestly. I'm just happy it looks as fine as it does. Anyway, if we go in through the front doors, you can see that we have an atrium kind of big deal right here. I think this is going to be pretty good if I want to take screenshots here later down the line, or if we just want to chill here in a let's play. I put in these registers because I want someone to be like manning the desk. If I had invisible registers, I would put those, but oh well. Oh, let's go down actually. Let's go like this. We have the offices for the court clerks, and then more like stuff here, simple offices, and here I think these are gonna be the like legal representatives offices. Maybe one of these is the judge and one of these is like a lawyer or whatever. We have some simple bathrooms. I'm not gonna go through those in detail because they just have stuff that is minimal for performance purposes for the game. It will run well, but I'm concerned that if I load into this slot after having loaded into a family, I might get pink soup, which is something that I've had in some of my other neighborhoods where I've done like more detailed builds. So that is something that is possibly a me problem, but also possibly a game problem. I don't know. I have done all of the fixes have been done, so I don't know. Anyway, I also quite like this as a place. I think it's gonna be quite interesting to see how the Sims are gonna actually use it. I like the open ceiling. I like it. I like it. In my headcanon, there's like things that you can put up so that the ceiling is not open all the time, but I quite like it. It has the right vibe, I think. And then not that far down. Thank you. I also put in these screens here because I wanted these doors to be transparent, but I also want them to be able to have privacy if they want it. So those can be put in front of the doors on the inside if you need to. Upstairs is pretty simple as well. Just some decorated hallways with some bookshelves and stuff. I didn't put any chairs up here because I'd rather them sit downstairs. I don't want them to be using this floor actually all that much. We have some leftover spaces here, so we can put in more offices here, or if we think of other uses for this town hall later down the line, we still have like this entire upper wing here that we can use for something else, as well as this office space. So I think it's pretty good. Up here on the roof, I think I cut off most of this, some of this detailing up here. I was gonna put in like lights and stuff up here, but I took them off. It didn't feel right. It looked weird. But I'm thinking like HVAC stuff and stuff like that. For the outside, simple lighting. I wasn't intending to put these lights in here like this, but I was amazed that you could, so therefore I had to. That's kind of like the way I like to play The Sims. I do something weird and I'm like, huh, you can do that? And then I end up doing that. We also use the same lamppost throughout all of our community spaces so that it looks consistent throughout the neighborhood, especially from neighborhood view. But I think that is all I have for me for today. I've been playing. I've been having to take breaks. I've been playing this game for so long, the entire day. I started at early today, and then I just had to like. I played in like 20-minute increments, just trying to like use my brain and figure stuff out. This is why like live building would actually be really good, because I could get that feedback immediately and without having to like really wrinkle my brain, my smooth brain. Oh gosh. But yeah, that's it for now. I have been me, you have been you, and we've been building in The Sims 2. Bye!